Good evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Alex Kirchner. We're breaking into coverage for a brand new update from the National Weather Service. Warnings have now been extended across the majority of our viewing areas. We're talking about all of Winnebago, Boone, DeKalb counties and the eastern half of Ogle and Lee counties until 12:15 in the morning. So for the next hour, be ready for wind gusts potentially up to 70 miles per hour. So again, that encompasses all of our viewing area over the next hour or so. Storms have been ongoing from Stevenson County through Lee County, but now they're progressing across the rest of our backyard with wind gusts potentially between 60 to 70 miles per hour. So far, we've had gusts at least at 55 to 60 miles per hour. Storms on top of Oregon right now. Same for Rochelle. They're just about to, with Franklin Grove heading towards Rochelle. Rockford, probably not going to see those storms until closer to about 11:20 or later. Same for Belvedere and DeKalb, maybe closer to 11:30 or so. So it's going to be a bit before those storms get to you, but wanted to give you the big heads up here that we have some high wind gusts on the way that may cause all sorts of damage. So what we want you to do, if you're watching us, just make sure that you are moving now to that lowest floor, possibly your basement. Get away from the windows, because what's going to happen is 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts may damage that roof level, may damage some trees, knocking down tree branches, tree limbs onto your property. So we want you away from those upper levels as these storms come through. Be ready for power outages on top of that too, and damage to your windows. So all sorts of threats kind of, again, sliding through our backyard. These storms are moving at about 60 miles per hour, so they're right on top of Freeport and Oregon. They'll be getting closer to Rochelle within the next 15 minutes. Rockford, maybe 15 to 20 minutes away. Same for Belvedere as well as DeKalb. It'll be a little bit before the storms get to you, but wanted to give you a big heads up here. You got 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts on the way. Might get a little rain first and then the wind gust threat after that. So just make sure that don't let that rain fool you. You've got strong winds coming in right behind the initial round of rain that slides through. So these storms are, again, going to be with us for about an hour or so. We will periodically jump back into coverage as necessary. We're live on our streaming platforms right now, so head there to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, or our website. We'll have additional coverage for a while on those platforms, but like I mentioned, we may have to break into coverage again as necessary as the night goes along. So stick with us for updates. Again, head to our streaming platforms for continuous coverage, and we'll provide updates as needed over the rest of the evening. Welcome back to our continuous coverage here on our streaming platforms. So we're live on YouTube, we're live on our Facebook page. Meteorologist John Jurgens is with me. He's keeping an eye on some of the questions and comments live on Facebook, so we'll try to interact with you as much as possible. And then we're also live on our website as well as our news apps. If you're ever on the go or if you need to stream us somewhere else, you can head to our website, WREX.com, and get the latest information on that. So as you may have seen just a second ago, we've got all sorts of new warnings for our backyard. This is for all of Winnebago, Boone, DeKalb, Ogle and Lee counties for the threat of 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts as these thunderstorms move through. So we're watching all of these storms very closely as they progress along. So just make sure that you are, again, moving away from that roof level, get to a lower level, if not your basement, get away from the windows as these storms move through. I've got the turbulence tool on because that's been showing a nice sharp line. This is where the wind gust threat is. you might get some thunderstorm activity out ahead of that. So some rain, some downpours, maybe even some small hail. But here is where the severe winds are, again, located right along this gust front. So they're past Oregon, heading towards Byron as of this point. Same for Freeport, Dixon, you're kind of past the severe winds too, and hopefully things are starting to settle down a little for you, though you might be stuck under the rain for a while. So for the spots that are up next, we'll kind of track this little by little here. First, we'll start with this little section from Freeport to Oregon. I end up may having to zoom out a little farther here, but here, we'll send it over to John Juergens in a second with the track on that. I don't quite have the right zoom level, but I'll continue to play around with it. So that's, again, where we're getting that severe wind threat currently. This should allow me to get a little closer in here. Try it one more time before sending it over to John. So again, these are moving at about 60 miles per hour. Place the track right there. The severe winds will be into Rochelle at about 11:17, Rockford closer to 11:30, DeKalb at about 11:30, Janesville about quarter to midnight. Janesville, you're not under a warning right now, but still, these thunderstorms may be closer towards you. So that's some of the general timing that we have ongoing as those severe winds come through our backyard. So it gives you about another, if you're in Rockford, you got about 20 minutes to get down to that basement level as quick as you can as these thunderstorms slide by us. Again, we're looking at about 60 to 70 miles per hour. That may be enough to knock down tree branches, damage windows, damage roofs as these storms slide along. So that is kind of the current track on these storms. When it comes to that intense thunderstorm activity, again, you're looking at maybe a little rain out ahead of that, and then that line comes through our backyard. So I'm going to toss it over to John Juergens for additional coverage here. He's got the wind map up showing it's been a windy day just in general. We've had gusts up to 40 plus miles per hour, even stronger winds to tomorrow morning. So that is, again, something to be aware of as things go along. So what's the latest on the winds, John?
Yeah, so we're looking at both the non-thunderstorm winds, kind of just the gusty winds that we've had throughout the day today, and then also these strong winds that are coming in from these thunderstorms. So really the key one that I want to point out here is notice ahead of the line, you're seeing those winds coming in out of the southeast. So you can see that wind direction there, and mostly gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. Had a 40 mile per hour gust in DeKalb, but Sterling at the Whiteside County Airport, you see that wind direction coming out of the southwest. That's going to be behind that line of storms, and they had a gust up to 52 miles per hour. So I think we definitely have had some isolated gusts of around 60 miles per hour at times, especially across the southern part of the area. So that's especially going to be what we're watching out for here as I pull back the radar back up here. As you can see, the line of storms now starting to approach Winnebago County, kind of seeing that little hot spot there with some lightning near Seward right now, and also looks like another cell near Rochelle. So what I'm going to do here, I set up some individual tracks so we can kind of go segment by segment here to get some more local times here. And I'll move up these storm tracks here just a little bit so we can get a more accurate reading here. As I know we've had a lot of people asking about the Loves Park, McChesney Park areas. So here's what we're looking at. So Pecatonica, it's knocking on your doorstep right now. Looks like we're going to get those strong winds here in the next few minutes. At our station here in Winnebago, we're going to be getting that shortly here as well. This will be reaching the Beloit area towards 11:30, Janesville towards 11:45. Further off to the south, as we've tracked this further into the city of Rockford. Again, I'll move the track up just a little bit, and Alex is getting us new details about a new severe thunderstorm warning in southern Wisconsin. We'll get to that in just a second, but just continuing on with these storm tracks here. So Byron, these winds and heavy rain now knocking on your doorstep right now. So we'll be pushing into Winnebago here very shortly. Those damaging straight line winds could be 60 to 70 mile per hour winds along this segment here. Rockford, we're keying that time here around 11:20 to 11:30. Loves Park, closer towards 11:30. And McChesney Park, maybe towards 11:30. between 11:30 11:35. Roscoe, Rockton towards 11:37 to 11:40. Same timing roughly for Belvedere. Poplar Grove around 11:45, and then pushing into southern Wisconsin towards Clinton at 11:50. And then let's take that last southern part of this line segment here, getting towards Shabana in southern DeKalb County at 11:15, towards Malta along the Lincoln Highway at 11:20, and then towards DeKalb, the NIU campus around 11:25, and then Sycamore a little after 11:30, and then pushing further north towards the Route 72 corridor in Genoa by about 11:37. So that's your kind of specific timing there for the little individual locations across the area as we see that severe thunderstorm warning in place for all of Winnebago, all of Boone, all of DeKalb counties, as well as the eastern parts of Ogle and Lee counties in effect until 12:15, Alex.
And John, just got a little update from the National Weather Service. They were saying that line near Amboy and LaSalle, 60 to 70 miles per hour. So that's kind of on track with the warnings they've been issuing. Some private weather stations were showing that data, showing again 60 plus miles per hour right near Amboy. We've got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning out for Rock County now. This is until 12:15 in the morning. You're looking at 60-mile-an-hour wind threats, so that's definitely still damaging. So Janesville, Beloit, you're now looking at that warning 2 for your backyard. So if you're in southern Wisconsin, you're going to want to be now down into the basement or at a lower level away from that roof level. Be ready for damage to roof sidings as well as windows and trees. Be ready for power outages on top of that too. So again, that new warning just issued for Rock County until 12:15. Storms getting a little closer towards you as of this point. We're going to go back to the heart of our viewing area. Kind of wanted to show that line near the Amboy section of the map. So that is, again, seeing gusts up to 60, if not 70 miles per hour. And just as a bit of a recap for everybody, if you're under a warning, this is the threat that you're watching. You're looking at damaging winds, gusts up to 60, if not 70 miles per hour. These storms are moving fast at about 60 miles per hour themselves. So that's highway speed, which means if you get a warning, it's best to move as quickly as possible. May not have a ton of time before those storms are on top of you. So back to the large-scale view of the radar, we've got strong thunderstorm activity now right near Rochelle, right outside of Winnebago, and passing closer towards Lake Somerset. So not quite into Rockford yet, but you got another 15 minutes or so. In fact, starting to hear the wind howl a little here at the TV station, so wanted to check that out. Got a pretty strong thunderstorm just outside of Winnebago currently, so may get some strong wind gusts as well as some possibly some small hail, and then some downpours coming with that too. So yeah, we're really starting to hear that wind pick up, John. So that is those strong wind threats starting to approach our backyard. Thankfully, no rotation on that, but as we pull up the turbulence tool, yeah, those strong winds are just outside of our station currently. Could be looking at possibly some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts or so as those storms slide by. Give it another 10-15 minutes, and those storms will be into the Rockford area as well as Durand, maybe about 5 minutes away from you. And again, right outside of Winnebago, that's where we're getting these strong winds currently. You can start to hear them pick up right here at the TV station, kind of howling through the tower there. So we're kind of sitting right in this vicinity here, getting into some of those strong winds.
Yeah, and I would wonder, Alex, with the kind of hot spot that we're seeing pretty much right over Pecatonica and Winnebago, this may be a spot that we may see some of that small hail too. When we see these little cells that kind of pop up along the leading edge of this line, could see some locally enhanced winds, 60, maybe getting close to 70 miles per hour. That is what the National Weather Service is warning for along this whole line. But we could also see that potential for some small hail in that little cell, as well as some more lightning. We are seeing those little lightning icons there. So just where we see those little cells pop up, could see.
Here's where I drew on the map as we kind of had another power search there. Drew on the map that we've got those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts just outside of Rockford as of right now. So they kind of went through Byron with about 60 to 70 miles per hour. So they're just outside of the Rockford area. That's where we've got those intense winds currently. And so they're just moving down Winnebago with gusts up to, potentially over 60 miles per hour or so. So that is the main wind threat as we see it. I'm going to draw that map here with our velocity tool. You can kind of see it a little bit better with darker colors. So that is about where we're getting the strong winds to slide through our backyard and potentially cause some damage to some spots. So again, if you're in Lake Somerset, if you're in Durand, if you're Winnebago, probably we'll start to see the winds die down soon, but those are some of the locations that are facing some of the fierce winds at this point. So what we're going to do is, as this approaches the city of Rockford, McChesney Park, Loves Park, we're going to do another on-air check-in with any viewers at home and stick with them as these thunderstorms roll by. You'll be able to see that on our feed as we go through the rest of this evening, so stay with us for additional coverage as things